Welcome, everyone, to the July 24, 2025 Burlington High School Building Committee and Burlington School Committee joint meeting. The public can access this meeting via WebEx. If you want the link, go to the calendar at burlington.org. It's right there on the front page, and you can join the meeting. We are not planning to take any votes tonight, right, Terry?
That's correct.
We're not going to go over a list, a quorum list or any of that because we don't need to. This is a presentation and we're here to listen. So you can go ahead and begin.
Yep. No, I just need to figure out how to share the screen. And Bob, I'm having a little issue here. Apologies, everybody. Bob, can you pull up the presentation? Because for whatever reason, it's not working on my end. Can folks see that?
No.
No. Of course not.
Do you want to go? Do you want me to try taking public input while you think about it?
Yeah, that would be fine. I'm just struggling why this doesn't work.
Summer, nothing works in summer. Oh, there we go.
It's working. It looks very nice.
Okay, before we start with that, is there any public input? Is there anyone looking? I don't see any hands up. Anyone want to comment before we get going? Okay, then let's move on.
Yeah, so I think the next thing is just, I think David's just going to talk about where the design is going. I think they've got a couple of views as the design continues. So I'll leave it at that, David.
Yep. You all can hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. So the schematic design update is that on Monday we released the schematic design pricing set. So that is now out with our cost estimator, and Consigli's working on pricing it as well. So, in about 3 weeks, we're hoping to have a number to discuss with everybody. But in the meantime, we updated the bird's eye views that we have of the building. So now you're seeing a little bit more detail of what the building may look like. I don't know if I have the ability to point at things. Bob, you can point at like the art wing there, if you remember where that is, where the bridge is. So that kind of woodish looking item, we're calling those aluminum battens. And so that's going to bring a little bit of a wood look to the outside of the building. And on the other wing, on the other side of the bridge, kind of towards the base, we're carrying that material as well to kind of tie those two wings together. So when you see the images, that's what you're seeing. They're kind of like fins almost that wrap around the building, and they're decorative, but they also help with shading of the windows. And then the bridge itself is being shown as this phenolic wood look material. Again, trying to bring a little bit of like natural wood into the project, not just concrete and brick everywhere. And then something new on this is you're seeing mechanical units up on the roofs. So all those little screens that are poking up, those are right now locations of air handling units. So they're going to be scattered around the building. And we're calling for acoustic mechanical screens around those so that they don't create too much noise, which is going to be a good thing. Towards the main entry, I don't know if, yeah, I guess this view captures it. Yep. So we have some metal panel that is going to go on that, I guess that lighter color. I think that's the phenolic wood look again. Maybe switch to the next view, the next slide. Yep. So if you look at the or the Center for Education, you can now see how we're exploring the entry from the parking areas into that building. You can see there's some columns, which we're calling to be mass timber right now. So they're wood columns. And then the roof is the existing roof that we're trying to preserve, and that's carrying out to create a little shelter there on that space. And we're thinking that that space might be like an outdoor classroom space, aside from an entry into that building as well. And then you can also see on where the project calls for replacement of all windows and curtain wall around the building. So on that Center for Education, on the BECC portion, you can see there's little splotches of color in those windows. And that would be some sort of spandrel glazing that could be colored, just to create a little more interest to the existing facade there. What else is new here? You can see on the cafeteria side, we have a lot of curtain wall going in that area to bring in a lot of light to the spaces that are over there. And then on the last meeting that we had, Chris talked about how we're tying metal panel into this kind of scattered metal panel look to those classroom wings. So all those dark kind of rectangles and square spaces around the windows, that's all metal panel. So we're just playing with, trying to bring a brick color that is kind of neutral and works well with the existing concrete buildings, but we're also putting in splashes of other colors to kind of break up the monotony of just a neutral palette to the exterior of the building. One other thing to note is we're showing a number of skylights. So those little on the classroom wing, those kind of darker areas on the roof. Yep, those are skylights right there. And then over right where your mouse is, Bob, those are new, very large skylights that will be over the gallery area when you walk in the main entry to the building. So that'll be kind of a very well lit space. We're envisioning also wood columns in there. And then there's also going to be a big green, what we call a moss wall. So it's not actually living moss, but it would be kind of this, what's the word for it?
Dead
It just
moss.
brings some greenery into the inside of the building as well. So we did that on another project, and it looks pretty cool. So I think that's kind of the update for where we are with things. We're just working with Consigli now to and PM&C, our cost estimators, to start pricing the project, and hopefully we'll come up with a good price in a few weeks.
Yep. No, thanks, David.
Yep.
So this is like it's starting to come together, and you can see that. And kind of without further ado, we obviously went through a SEAM at risk process to hire somebody. Consigli's on board. I'm going to actually just turn this over to them. They've got some slides that they're going to show you, and I think a video that I believe really brings the project to life. So, and to the extent there's questions after their presentation or during it, feel free to ask. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to one of Burlington's finest. Christy, you're on.
Welcome, Christy.
Terry. Thank you. I don't know that I'm going to have the same issue as with sharing screen. So Bob, if you're able to, thank you. I just emailed you.
Nice picture.
So, Chrissy, if you just want to say next, I'll just go through at your pace or whoever's
Okay.
speaking.
Perfect. Next.
You want me to kick this off, Christy?
Yeah, please, Bill.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Bill O'Rourke. I'm a director, project executive with Consigli Construction. So my role here on this project is team leader since about 2 weeks ago when we were awarded the project, all the way through pre-construction, construction, and closeout. So I'd like to thank all of you for this opportunity. We're very excited to be a part of the team. So I'll just start with a quick overview of Consigli. We, as you can see from some of the notes here, established in 1905. We're now fifth generation family led by Anthony and Matthew, two brothers, our CEO and president. Their children are now working here at Consigli. So we are this year over $4 billion in annual revenue across 15 regional offices. Home base is still here in Massachusetts, in Milford and in Boston. But as you can see, we've got offices everywhere from Portland, Maine, down through New England, New York, Raleigh, North Carolina, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. As of about 7 years ago, we are also an ESOP, so we are 100% employee-owned. Bob, if you could move on, please. Thank you. I'm going to let Tim and Tom and Christy give a little bit of an introduction for themselves, but just before we do, this was something that we had put in our interview, but why we put this team together to build your new high school. This is truly an all-star team of school builders. I'll highlight a couple who couldn't be here. Corey Wild is our senior project manager, currently building the Neshoba Regional Technical High School, and before that, Attleboro High School. And Allie Mullen, our assistant project manager, is on both of those with him as well. Corey couldn't be here because he's at his son's college orientation at Penn State, so you will see him at future meetings. But you can see some of the numbers down below. These are not Consigli numbers. These are this team's numbers. So vast experience on projects just like this one. And also, having done them all together and over a lot of years. So you've really got a great team here from Consigli, and you're in very good hands. So with that, Tim, you want to say a couple of words about yourself?
Is he muted, Bob?
I was going to say only if Bob allows him to.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
I kept trying to unmute myself, then it would remute me. Hi everyone, I'm Tim Erickson. I'm the chief estimator, and I oversee all of our K through 12 and academic work, primarily in Massachusetts. So schools are virtually all that I do. I've been an estimator for over 25 years. I've worked on over 75 school projects. So really excited to be part of this team. And thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Tom DeRosa. I'll be the project superintendent here at Burlington High School. Every single day, I'm on site driving schedule, quality, and ultimately ensuring the safety of staff and students during construction. I look forward to being a part of this team and bringing this job to life.
And hi, everyone. I'll say hi again. I'm Christy Lyons. I'm the pre-construction executive, and I'm the proud product of the Burlington Public School Systems and a BHS grad. I've been with Consigli for 9 years, focusing entirely on the K through 12 school market. And for the next 2 years, I will be your primary point of contact. I will be at every single meeting, leading the charge from the Consigli team to ensure that we're setting up the project for success and mitigating risk. My roots in Burlington run very deep. My father sat on this school committee for 6 years. My mom worked in central administration, and my sister continues the family legacy as a teacher at Francis Wyman. And my niece and nephew will graduate from Burlington High School, the new Burlington High School. I'm truly humbled to be here today, and we're so excited for this opportunity, both personally and Consigli as a company. And we thank you for this opportunity to be here.
Thank you.
On the next slide,
So just hit this very quickly, just another indicator of the amount of schools that Consigli builds. We are the leader in K through 12 school construction in Massachusetts. We're obviously in a lot of markets. We're a big company, but this is truly the heart of who we are. We've always built them. We always will build them. And our passion really lies with engaging with folks like you in these communities and developing relationships and bringing hopes and dreams to life at the end of these projects. So again, very excited to be here, and I'm going to stop talking. We're going to move on to a couple of case studies on some recent relevant projects. Bob, if you could move on. We are going to start with Attleboro. I believe, Christy, you're going to run with
yeah, this is a project that I led the pre-construction effort with Corey. He was the project manager on this project, and we just wanted to highlight a lot of similarities to Burlington. Not only was this a complex site with an active high school and middle school very close by, we also had an ad alternate or additional scope that we were tracking throughout pre-con. We think it's a testament to our pre-construction effort. We were able to include the new turf fields that you see in that image on the far left-hand side throughout the project. So that was a great win for us, and a lot of similarities to Burlington with some of the program spaces, an early childhood center, TV studio spaces. So just another project to demonstrate our similar project experience. And I'll kick it over to Tom to talk about Arlington High School.
So where I've spent the last 3.5 years leading the team, successfully turning over the different phases of Arlington High School. There's a lot of similarities between Arlington and Burlington, and I look forward to taking those best practices to Burlington. I want to draw your attention on the far right side of the page to that first photo. That's a picture of a high reach surgically taking apart a portion of the old building while the remaining building stays active during the different phases of construction. Something very similar to what Burlington is going to experience in phase 2. Another photo here in the middle. There's a lot going on here, but again, this is a similar snapshot to what Burlington High School is going to look like between phases 2 and 3 when we sever the building and essentially drop the inside where the streets are, the current academic classrooms. You can see here some supportive excavation. There's about a 25-foot grade difference in this example, also at Burlington High School. And I really want to draw the attention here last to the windows up at the top there. We were able, through phasing and through early planning, and we look to do the same with TAP A, incorporate temporary means into the permanent design, where we were able to keep the building weather tight while we brought the last connecting wing out of the ground. And those windows are active classrooms on the other side there. We never disrupt the learning environment. We work closely with the district to make sure that at first and foremost, the classroom is what was on our minds. And like I said, we look forward to bringing those best practices to Burlington as well.
All right. So at this point, Christy, are you going to try and queue up the animation?
No,
or
Bob's going to do it.
Bob's going to do it? All right. You guys are clearly communicating in the background here.
Yeah, and so, Bill, can I cut you off for a second?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Just so folks are aware, Durham Whittier has worked with Consigli on a number of projects, both on the project management side as well as our architecture arm. TAP A recently did a job with Consigli down in Sharon, which I think has been a success. And we had a competitive process. There were 6 firms. I think we have the right team. These guys know what they're doing. I'm looking forward to them showing this little video if we can get it going. So that I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, so I would just like to add in the caveat here that this is strictly a consigli production at this point. Our team put this together during our pursuit of the proposal and the interview. So this is going to develop over time as we work with Terry and his team and David and Chris at TAPE. But so in case something looks off or out of whack, we don't do this to offend anybody. We try to build it the best we can on paper, and then we refine it as we learn through the process. So with that, I think we're ready to go, Tom.
All right. So as Bill mentioned, this is a look at what the campus will be through the different phases of construction. Logistically, there's multiple considerations we take into account, but the one I really want to focus on here is the safety of staff and students throughout the whole project. And we didn't forget about the abutting neighbors either. We understand the tight neighborhoods around campus, some of the trucking constraints on streets such as Bedford. So we've identified a safe mainstream route into the campus that won't affect the abutting neighbors. We've also taken a look at how the campus moves during the day, understanding drop-off and pickup times. In the first phase, how we're going to have to make some alternate bus loops around campus to never have any sort of bottlenecking. How to safely get the students into the building by having some temporary sidewalks put into place, as well as some parent drop-off areas temporarily created in the student parking lot. You see that here. Again, safety is always number one priority. We have jersey barriers protecting the sidewalks, flashing signs at the crosswalks, clean separation between where we'll be building the addition and where staff and students can get into the building. And one cool thing here is the entry points for all of phase one are exactly what they are today. So we were able to work it in a way that it's not going to be a learning curve. There'll be some temp parking lots and things of that nature, but the actual entrance and egress points will remain the same. Here's a couple of shots of what the project will look like in terms of the flow of the build, the new addition. Again, keeping in mind here when we have a crane on site for steel erection, when we have concrete pump trucks, when we're pouring the slabs and the foundations, always staying inside the confines of our job sites, never interrupting with the student population or interrupting how traffic is during pickup and drop off. Again, taken just at our first stab approach, but throughout the phases of the addition, we'll be working over a few summers where we want to tackle some work such as the gymnasium and the auditorium. Again, strategically with the academic calendar, so we're minimally impacting those departments during the school year. And then we'll start phase two. So we'll reestablish our construction fence over the next leg of the work. We've got our next round of renovations, such as creating the BECC space, working on how we're going to sequence the abatement and demolition, that mid part of the building I talked about in that case study, how we're going to safely drop that building and strategically do it over the course of a summer so that when staff and students come back in the fall, the building is substantially down. All that high risk work happened when there wasn't a huge population on campus. And then what they're seeing through the start of that next school year is the site work, creating the new road, the new drop off, the new addition for the new main entrance. Here's a shot of what that bus loop will look like after phase one. We're suggesting a temporary drop-off area over by where the gymnasium space is. We feel that this will help with flow around the campus for buses. And again, that parent drop-off will still remain over at the student lot. So we're not jumping around 10 different times throughout the course of construction. We're trying to keep it as mainstream as possible. And then lastly, in phase four, we'll establish the site fence once more. We will work on the renovation scope revolving around the new Center for Education, the new BCAT studio space, and we'll wrap up the project with finishing all the landscaping. We like to give a top coat of asphalt and line striping at the end of the job. So even though it was phased over 4 years, it all looks clean and uniformed when we leave. And proudly and excitingly handing over the keys, at the end of phase four to the new home of Burlington High School.
Looks great to me. Any comments? Anyone have anything to say?
Yeah, I do, Tom. Thanks for walking through that. I think the video is awesome. I think it's something that we'll share on our website and uses content, you see the building kind of come to life and what Consigli is thinking. And I'll reiterate what Bill said is that's going to change a little bit, but it's a really good indication that these guys have a handle on how we're going to try and do this. And I don't know, it's exciting. It's really great to watch something like that and think about what Burlington High can become.
Couldn't agree more. Are there any people online here that want to comment on it? Any hands?
Martha has her hands up.
Okay, Martha.
Hi, this is very exciting to have all this moving forward like this. I tried to look through the materials before the meeting tonight, and you have the QR codes, but it would be really helpful if you could use links, because I don't know, there must be a way to use a QR code on my laptop while I'm using my laptop, and I tried it on my phone and it was this big. And so is it possible whenever you have a QR code that you could also include a link that could be clicked on?
Yep. Well,
Great.
Nick,
Thank you.
Nick will make that happen.
Good. Thank you. And even to backfill today's materials so that I can see the videos that I missed. I mean, I saw one.
And so Martha, certainly on the presentation you got, I know what you're saying. Like, you can click it on your phone and watch it on your phone, but you'd like to watch it on your computer, so you don't have that link. I get it. We'll fix that. Either way, it's going to be on our website tomorrow, on the project website. So you should be able to, cut and paste that.
Where on the website?
My guess is this is going to be on the front page, but let me talk to Nick in the morning and we'll figure that out.
Okay, I want to encourage, I still am having a lot of trouble finding things on the website, so putting it on the front page sounds great to me.
Okay. Anyone else have a hand up that I don't see? No other comments? Okay, Terry, what's next?
So Bob, if you could switch to the presentation, that'd be great. I just have a couple, not much to go through.
For my clarity, back to Consigli's or to you?
No, the original presentation.
Got it.
Upcoming community events, is that where you are, Terry?
Yep.
Got it.
Right. So in terms of community outreach, we've got a few things scheduled that are, publicized. In terms of Marshall Simons has a middle school parent night. We'll have a presence there. Burlington Day, I don't think it's called that, but it's next Saturday. All of TAPE, ourselves, and Consigu will have a presence there. There's a public safety night on the 6th of August. And then we'll have another community forum just to update folks online on the 21st. I think we've talked about this in other meetings. Dave Kartunen is producing 4 or 5 videos that we're going to start sharing probably on the 2nd of September, which is the day after Labor Day. It's the first day of school. That will address all of these topics. They're anywhere from 2.5 to 4 minutes long, super consumable, giving images describing these topics. And I think they'll be super helpful just to get information out there. So that's what we're planning to do. In September, my guess is any and all events that we can attend, we will. To get the word out. I do know that there are 2 political action committees that have been formed that will be doing their thing. What we are doing is providing information about what this project is. So I town meeting, I think, Bob, if you move, unless there's questions on this, if we move to next meetings.
That's all I got.
No way.
The other way.
I know.
Go the other way.
I
Yeah,
am.
go
But
one more. Go one more.
You wanna go like
yeah,
that?
See that?
Got it.
Yeah. See that?
hey,
So, bunch of meetings in the next couple of months, and just to hit on schedule that I know many of you are most likely aware of. I mean, our intention is at the next SBC meeting on the 14th is to come with a recommended budget, and that ideally the building committee will vote on. We'll send that to the select board. I've been in touch with not just the select board, but John and Patrick. Will get that as a warrant. And then town meeting is on the 29th of September. Town meeting is meant to basically approve the funding of it subject to a debt exclusion. And so that's what we are looking to do at the end of September. The proposed date for a debt exclusion vote is the 15th of November. In between all of those things will be quite a few meetings with a variety of different people. And obviously I've listed out SBC meeting dates, but September, and assuming a positive vote at town meeting at the end of September, will lead to quite a bit of activity in October as well. So that's the present schedule.
Looks good. Are there any other topics that anyone wants to bring up that haven't been reasonably anticipated before the meeting? Martha, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. I would be interested in getting, it probably is on the website somewhere, but I would be interested in having a standalone document or simplified about the upper building, the Center for Education. I'm getting a lot of questions about why are we spending $40 million to save that? How many square feet is it? There's a second floor that has nothing in it. I imagine that's going to be used for swing space at some point. You know, how much bigger is the new BECC going to be compared to the old one? And I'd be happy to send you an email with the kinds of things, you know, breaking it out square footage wise, and how much does that compare to if we rented space for central office somewhere in an empty office building in town. I'm getting a lot of questions about why are we spending the money on that building. And I, you know, answer as best I can. But if we could have a couple of pages or one page that would break all that out, I think it would help a number of people who are very skeptical about that part of the project. Is that something that could be put together?
The simple answer is yes. If you have, Martha, if you have an email that has all of those questions, either way, I can watch this video and answer all of them.
Okay. But I don't want you to even answer them on a document that you can then put on the website.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay. Great.
Absolutely.
Martha, one of the
Yeah.
things you might want to point out to people is that we have to have a home for the BECC.
I know that. I've been telling
And
people.
not only that, but we have to have administrative offices, all of which is in that portion of the building. It isn't so much that we're keeping something we don't need, it's that we're taking down the part that we can't use.
You don't have to convince me.
Yeah, no,
but
I
like,
know. And
I don't
I
know
get the
the
same
answer.
questions.
I don't know the answer to there's a whole second floor how many square feet is that and what is that going to be used for? And I have lots of really good ideas of what it should be used for. There's certainly a need for space in this town, but I think those are the things that people like, why are we doing this? And, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I also think that, Terry can come up with some great answers, but I think that maybe as a school community, we need to figure out that, it's like that space on the second floor is going to be used before we can snap our fingers. But we need to explain it ahead of time so that people understand that. So I agree with you. But
Good.
we also need to think and get maybe Dr. Conti involved in the use of the space and the importance of using the space.
Right.
Well,
And giving people some ideas.
with the
Go ahead.
improving of the pathways program, we just instituted the business pathways program, the cyber pathways program, the AI pathway program. They're going to need dedicated lab space, computer space, server space, infrastructure to do a lot of that. So we could definitely cage off some of that on the second floor.
Good point.
Okay. So again, that could be a separate document, a separate piece of information that we can share with people. And if that's already figured out, great. Let's make sure we share that with people. If it's up in the air, let's, at least say that's one possibility. Another possibility is this. Another possibility is that. And if we are using it for these career pathways, there's also people who are asking about vocational programming. Why aren't we adding vocational programming? And we have these vocational programs in the high school, and we can highlight that this is a space we can use for things like those career tracks. So I want us to be people talk about not hearing, and I want to make sure we put all that information together.
Yeah, a lot of the things that you're talking about are vital to the school department as a whole, and they need to be on the campus. So I think as a group, we can work on that.
And another thing, if you're working on that, is people are saying, well, why don't we just take over Mount Hope, that space? And so I know there's lots of reasons not to do that, but it could be addressed if possible. And I have one other suggestion or request, if I may. Is that okay?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yep.
Another thing I'd like is I liked being able to picture the construction phases in that video we just saw. I would like some diagrams that would show the constructions and diagrams, and also explanation that it isn't going through the neighborhoods. I know you said that, but you didn't say where it's going to go. Is it all going to go in the main entrance? So just say that. Don't just say it isn't going through the neighborhoods, because people will say, oh, they're hiding something.
So Martha, let me be perfectly clear.
Okay.
There's one entrance into the site and there's one entrance out.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be no access, or unless for emergency purposes, to those residential streets, unless Burlington Fire or Police tells us we need to.
Okay.
But that's not our intention. We know the site. That's why and I know it was a quick video, and I don't mean to be defensive, but we know that's one in, one out. And we have to define safe passage for kids, parents, students, staff.
Yep.
Throughout the life of the project. And
right.
We're not going through the neighborhoods. So I don't know where you're hearing that from, but you can tell them we're not doing that.
So that's what I want in writing on the website. That's easy to find, is an explanation that, because otherwise people say, well, if you don't say where it is, like I heard you say there's one entrance in and one entrance out, and I wasn't worried about it. I didn't think it was going to happen. But for people who want to bring up concerns that may or may not be real, I think we need to be very explicit and say there will be one entrance in and one entrance out. But also, if you put a caveat on that, if the fire department and the police department let us do that. And I think we need to be honest when we say there's only going to be one in and out. that we say depending on the fire department and the police department. Because then when it turns out that the fire department says we have to do something different, people say, see, they were lying to us.
So Martha, I say that caveat because I don't know what, a jurisdiction's going to say. Having said that, I know that Consigli, ourselves, and the school fully expect to use one entrance in and one entrance out. If there are people out there that think that we're being conspiratorial and hiding something, that's on them, because we are not.
I don't think we are,
Okay.
Terry, but we have to get this voted on and passed.
Okay, Martha, we got the message. Something that makes it clear that our intention is only one way in and out. So we've covered that. Let's move on.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that needs to come up before we move onward and out? Terry, you got anything else? Looks like
Nope, I think we're good.
We covered a lot. That was a great presentation in all respects. So if no one else has anything to say or to bring up, I think we can have a motion to adjourn.
So moved, if I'm allowed to.
Of course. Anyone make a second to that, please? Or is
Second.
everyone muted? Okay, it's been moved
Second.
and seconded. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good night, everyone. Good meeting.